What's up? We're back. Welcome. And today I'm going to be showing you how I made my song Spark, featuring the amazing vocals by Lyonheart. So the track has a very like 80s kind of feel to it. I didn't intend it to be like that way, but I started the track as an instrumental, and the more I kept building and building, the more 80s I was kind of injecting into it. So there's not many sounds, like it's pretty basic. There's not many elements. It's just like a couple really nice sounds that make it very full and some really nice chords. So here's the vocals I'm going to turn off all the effects.
How long can we run and hide away? How can we?
So he comped everything, but he sent me like a couple takes, one for the center and one left and right. So you can see here I've got one dead smack in the middle,
How long
which is this
can
one.
we run and hide?
Then I've panned one hard left, 35 to the left,
How long can we run?
and then one hard right.
How
The
long
opposite.
can we run and hide away?
So together it gives a full
How long can we?
vocal.
How long can we run and hide?
So for effects, this is without effects.
How?
And then I'll add each one individually. So, because the track has a big like synthy kind of feel, I wanted the vocals to be really big and on top, but also to be like really washed out with reverb. First thing I did was I put the Ableton's glue compressor on it. No attack, short release, short ratio.
How long?
Pulled the threshold down quite a bit.
How long can we run?
It's pumping
and
almost
hide
around
away?
10.
How can we give it up? Well,
So that's just squashing it. It's bringing the softer bits of the vocal up and smacking down the louder ones, almost like a brick wall limiter. And then I use CLA vocals. I always use this. I normally don't really use the delay or the widener stereo bit on the end. I don't normally use the reverb. This time I have. So I'm just adding some treble quite a lot, compressing it again. I really like the CLA compressor.
how long can we run and hide away?
So you can see that's really like brought out the syllables and really making it to the front. Next is some delay.
How long can we run and hide away? How can we?
Quite a bit of delay, but again I wanted to have this vocal like super big but then kind of washed out. After that I've got the reverb.
How long can we
Quite a
run
lot of
and
reverb.
hide?
Quite a lot of reverb. I'm using the Valhalla vintage verb. I chose the 1980s color. You can change the color here. It's just a different tonality to the reverb. The decay time's quite long. Sometimes, normally I'll use like around 60, but this time, yeah, I went quite big with the decay time. I wanted it
How
quite
long can we run and hide?
big. Again, I put another glue compressor on it. This is just bringing all those elements together and making sure it's nice and like just general, tightened everything up, made it all like one volume. Then after that I've added what is this doing? Oh, I've got I'm adding some dynamics, so that's like a multi-band compressor and some exciter, which is like some saturation to the sound just to give it more color. I got the imager, which is not doing much to this bottom bandwidth. The middle one is widening it a bit, widening it some more, and the top one widening it some more, which is normally like a graph that I normally go with, kind of like that. As it goes higher, more wider. So with no plugins,
How long can
sounds
we
like this.
run and hide away?
And then with
How long can we run and hide away?
so makes it massive, which is what I was going for. Okay, next we've got the bass line. Now, normally for a bass line like this, I use the Arturia collection, which is just awesome. But when I started this track, I didn't actually own this collection. So I actually used Nexus for this. It's such a cool patch. So I'll show you which one it is. It's from the Deep House pack and it's called Deeper. It's just it's got that real analog kind of feel to it, and it just sounds awesome from the get-go. So I try to steer away from Nexus because it sounds very Nexus-y, but I really like this patch. It sounds very analog because it's probably recorded off like a Moog or something. Together. In the bass line you can also hear these other little bits, which is playing off the main bass line, and those little bits I use kick to make those. So they're just a really short bass tone, and then I bounce them down to audio. I think I bounced it down to audio just so I could clean them up a bit in some places, because I wanted to like cut out the volume properly. And then together. You can hear that reverse thing in there, which is just, it's just a reverse piano chord. What else we got? So I'll skip now to the chords, which you hear in the chorus or the drop. So again, this is where the 80s bit really, it was added to the track. It kind of reminds me of like watching Tron or Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg. It reminds me of like jump, jump, do, 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 do. I want to try to really make like chords that was just like, doesn't really sound like a dance record, and more like just something like a G up track that will just, you put it on and you're like, yeah, like let's go kind of thing. So the chords took me ages to come up with. I'm not musical or musically trained or anything, so normally what I do is to write chords is I in the piano roll I write a note on each note of the scale. So I know scales is enough to be able to do this, but if you don't know which notes, if you don't know which notes are in the scale, all you have to do is go to Google and Google, this is in D minor, so D minor, Google D minor scale, and it'll tell you which D minor scale, no internet, and it'll tell you which notes are in there, and then all you do is draw in each note, copy over a couple octaves, then you press fold, and then Ableton will get rid of every note that's not in that scale. So now every note that I press is in the D minor scale. So here, so they're the chords. I've got two patches doing the chords. The first one is silent. Super simple patch. And the next one is serum, which is doing more of a plucky kind of sound. So there's the patch. But why this track sounds good is because it's all about the musical elements. So the sounds are simple, but it's all about the chords and the way they're like playing off. So you can see this, the chord doesn't come on the one, it comes on the off. So the bass, this leaves room for the bass. So it's like boom, 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 and it kind of gives that jumpy feeling. So if you play it, you can hear the bass. So that's that. I really wanted to add some more organic elements, so I thought maybe some strings, and I had this really nice horn that plays throughout. Just gonna up the volume. For this I use Nexus. I also use Contact plugins sometimes. The exact Nexus patch is from Hollywood Winds and Brass, and it's trumpet 4 sustained. So that's, it's not playing the bass notes, it's playing a couple of the other notes from the chord, just one note, and then these strings is playing different notes. So when you add it together, it adds like a nice rich sound that's playing the chord. And on this trumpet I added a bit of pitch, so it kind of goes off pitch every now and then, just to add like a more organic feel. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed how I made Spark. Hope you learnt something. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be uploading a new video each week. And also, if you haven't checked out my Fader Pro and Armada Music production course, check it out. I think there's like 8 hours worth of footage, so it's pretty long and pretty extensive. So until next time,